it's dimwitland again. One of the things that I always do, even if I'm very familiar with the system that I'm working on, is that I always read the instructions. I really don't do that with anything else in my life, but I do when I'm trying to construct a computer system. And the reason I do that is, one, there may have been updates to the technology or the techniques or the admonishments, warnings, since the last time that I looked at it. One of the things that I always also find is that they can be rather amusing, probably unintentionally. This is the Intel Core 7 processor book, and I'm looking at the installation instructions, and it says installation instructions are not part of the 3-year limited warranty. The installation instructions are not part of the 3-year limited warranty. What does that mean? Does that mean that if I return the CPU because it's broken, they won't give me another set of instructions? Does it mean that in 3 years maybe these instructions will be no good? What does it mean that the instructions are not part of the warranty? That confused me. That has slowed me down. Because that was confusing, I thought I would look at our motherboard's instructions for the CPU. And this is the P6T Deluxe V2. That's this. Here, take a shot of this if you can. That's this board. It's a wonderful board. And the booklet of instructions that comes with this motherboard is truly a book. There's a couple hundred pages in it. But I was reading here, and it's much more thorough, and it doesn't warn me about my instructions apparently becoming obsolete. However, it does tell me that when I go to put the thermal paste on, whatever it is that I may use, it says the thermal paste is toxic and inedible. Who's going to do that? That's what it's a warning. The thermal paste is toxic and inedible. So some of you out there, duffel bag, have worried the makers sufficiently that they're afraid you will eat the thermal paste. Don't eat the thermal paste. Anyway, so much for instructions for today. We're installing the i7-920. That's the 2.66 quad-core i7 Intel processor. One of the interesting things for me, anyway, about Intel processors, this one has no pins. There are no pins on the processor. The pins are on the board. You want the light? Now, veterans of AMD construction will understand that, why, that seems backwards. Pins are supposed to be on the CPU and the holes are on the board. This board has pins on the board and no holes in the CPU. They just go flush against these metal plates. Now, we are going to, for demonstration purposes, install the CPU, the i7, on the P6T Deluxe V2 Asus board. And we are going to do it with the default provided by Intel in their wisdom fan and heat sink. This is the default.
You got a great car, yeah, what's wrong with it today? I used to have one too, maybe I'll come and have a look. I really love your hairdo, yeah. I'm glad you like mine too, see we're looking pretty cool, get ya. So what do you do? Oh yeah, I wait tables too. No, I haven't heard your band, cause you guys are pretty new. But if you dig, I'm big in food. Welcome over to my work, I'll have them cook you something that you really love. Cause I like you, yeah I like you. And I'm feeling so bohemian like you. Yeah I like you, yeah I like you. And I feel, wow.
Get to liquid cooling. So today, let's put in the CPU and let's put in the provided stock heat sink and fan. Okay? Now I have put on our temporary workbench a foam pad. It's covered with a towel, basically so that I can cut down on the fuzz. What we're going to do is depress this lever right here, flip it all the way back. We're going to pick up the frame and put it all the way back. Every CPU has a nice little gold diamond in one corner. So does this one. Can you see that? Can you see that? Do you want it through magnification?
No, I got it.
That usually goes in the lower right hand corner, or lower left hand corner, excuse me, down in the corner where the lever is. For Intel cores in particular, they like to provide this little idiot-proof little notch here, so that no matter what, even the fact that they gave you this indicator, they're still afraid that you can't figure it out. You're probably the guy that tried to eat the toxic heat sink material. So in case you did that and have lead poisoning, they put this little notch in here so you cannot possibly put it in the wrong place.
Duffel bag.
Yeah. Alright, so we drop it in there. Just want to make sure it's secure. You can see that there's a little post here and a little post here, and it's lined up. Okay? One of the things they tell you is please don't touch the underside of your CPU, and please don't touch the top of the motherboard. Okay? Now we're going to flip closed this top, and you can see that the little metal tab here is going to get caught underneath that, and we bend this down until it's clipped in here. It fits in quite snugly. Now on some boards it'll be looser, and on some boards it'll be tighter. The main two things you want to make sure are A, it's not too loose, and B, that this surface of your CPU core is a slightly elevated, or at least even, but hopefully a little elevated beyond this frame. This one is, so we're good. And the reason is because when we go to put our heat sink on, we want this copper surface to be making contact with the appropriate area on the CPU. Okay? And that doesn't matter whether we're using liquid cooling or whatever kind of cooling. Alright, so hopefully you can identify on your board where this is, where the lever is, and where the little gold corner goes. And if it's an Intel, you'll have those nice little posts that are idiot proof in case you've been eating the materials. I'm going to take a 1 minute break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to insert our heat sink. Alright, you're already 50% of the way there. If you're watching this on War Nuts, there are no annotations. Remember that the way we intend this is for there to be neat, snarky little comments behind my head, and so you can see those on YouTube. All right, back in just a minute.